Hello and welcome to Unfiltered Career Talks with Margaret Buj. Today I'm very excited to speak to Hazel Martin and we're going to discuss mental fitness. Let me introduce Hazel to you. Hazel Martin is an executive and personal coach with 30 years of corporate, not-for-profit and charity sector experience, who's passionate about helping purpose-driven leaders successfully navigate career transitions and thrive in their roles at work through one-to-one coaching and mental fitness training. Hazel is also the first UK certified positive intelligence mental fitness trainer and coach. She's coached hundreds of leaders across many organizations, including Virgin Money, Johnson & Johnson, Zoom, as well as charity and not-for-profit organizations. So welcome, Hazel. I'm really excited to talk to you today. And let's maybe start with what's mental fitness?
Oh, thank you, Margaret. I'm so delighted to be here speaking to you today because mental fitness is an area that I'm hugely passionate about, and I really am looking forward to sharing more about this with the listeners today. So for me, mental fitness is our ability to respond to life's challenges with a positive rather than a negative mindset, because mental fitness impacts our performance, our well-being, and our relationships. So I like to equate it to physical fitness. Most people know how to get physically fit. So when we're physically fit, we're better able to handle life's challenges, like when we run for a bus or when we climb a mountain. So mental fitness is exactly the same. There's certain muscles that we can improve upon in order to operate more from a positive mindset.
Great. So what's actually the difference between mental health and mental fitness? Because one impacts another, right? So yeah, what's the difference?
Yeah. So they're related, but they're distinct concepts. So I would say mental health refers to a person's overall psychological, emotional well-being. So it includes our ability to cope with stress, manage our emotions, and maintain healthy relationships. Whereas mental fitness is a person's ability to use our cognitive and emotional resources to handle the challenges of every day. So it describes the ability to be able to thrive and be resilient in the face of adversity. So mental fitness involves practices such as mindfulness, meditation, positive thinking, self-reflection to help people improve their mental well-being.
Mm-hmm. So what does the science tell us about mental fitness?
Well, the great news is that there's recent advancements in MRI technology. So that actually measures the neural activity and shows changes in our blood flow. And that's allowed scientists and psychologists to witness the real-time working of the brain for the very first time. So we're now able to pinpoint exact regions of the brain involved in producing different thoughts and feelings and identify the neural functions involved with the different areas of the brain. So for example, the survive region, which most people will be aware of because after all, humans need to survive, it's responsible for an area that I refer to as saboteurs. So I'm sure everyone's heard of inner critic, imposter, syndrome, etc., etc. So there's an area of the brain which generate negative emotions when we handle life's challenges. So they tend to exist in the brainstem, limbic system, and parts of the left brain. And they produce much of our stress, anxiety, self-doubt, anger, shame, guilt, frustration, that negative mind chatter. So yes, these emotions are helpful, but only to alert us to danger or other issues. Yeah, it's when we stay in that for over a period of time that it hurts our ability to see clearly and choose the most impactful response. Mm-hmm. Whereas the other region of the brain, the thrive region, is responsible for what I call the inner sage. It's the wiser part. So it lives in a different area, and it's in the middle prefrontal cortex or empathy circuitry and parts of the right brain. Mm-hmm. And it generates our positive emotions when I share these, empathy, compassion, gratitude, curiosity, creativity, and being able to have calm, clear-headed action.
Mm-hmm.
So it's wired for creativity and big picture thinking to choose the best course of action. And it releases endorphins and minimizes the negative impact of cortisol.
Mm-hmm. And so what can we do to improve our mental fitness? Like, what are some of the practices that anyone who hasn't done the training can actually do on a regular basis?
Yeah, sure. So the great news is that mental fitness is increased when we develop new muscles. I'm sure everyone's heard of neuroplasticity of the brain and being able to, wire new pathways in the brain. Just like when you're walking on a path, it becomes well trodden. So similarly, we can develop mental muscles to help us strengthen positive habits. And we know that we can, with dedicated practice, we can improve that. So the three muscles are the saboteur interceptor muscle. So as I said previously, saboteurs in a critic generate the negative emotions. So, stress, anxiety, avoidance, procrastination, discontent, etc. So when we're aware of that, it's turning the dial down on that. So for the first thing is self-awareness of when that actually happens. So that's the first muscle. And then the second one is, okay, how do we get back to the present? So the second muscle is self-command. So it's literally our ability to bring our mind back to the present moment, to quieten the region of our brain that's activated, either the saboteur region, so that we can choose to amplify the sage region. So we're actually bringing ourselves back to the present through using one of our senses, and we can use simple daily exercises to help us, command ourselves back to the present moment. So, a simple exercise, Margaret, is, if I take my thumb, and I'd encourage you to do that as well. If you take your thumb, your first finger and your third finger, okay, and rub your fingers together, but it's with such attention to detail, you can actually start to feel the ridges in your fingertips.
Okay. And
then if you focus on, either the temperature in your hands as well. So it's when you're really focusing on one sense at any one time, so you could go out for a walk barefoot, etc. But you're literally commanding your mind back to the present moment. And then the third muscle is what I call sage. So that's the muscle that's able to handle life's challenges with a calm, clear mind and have positive emotions such as empathy, curiosity. So when we sustain change towards a positive mind requires laying down the new neural pathways. Mm-hmm. So it's literally the three muscles: saboteur interceptor, self-command, and the sage muscle. And with repeated daily practice, you're able to grow, the sage muscle and quieten more of that saboteur region of our brain.
Okay, so tell me a bit more about how do you work with clients to improve their mental fitness? Like, what's the process you take them through, and what are some of the results? And how long does it take? I mean, how long is a piece of string? I know it depends on your current situation, but what can people expect after working on the mental fitness?
Yeah, so I use positive intelligence. So positive intelligence, there's a book being written about it, and Shazad Shamin's produced, he's done all the research around this. But it's basically 8 weeks to take charge of your mind, and it's through an app. So it's an app that you can download, and you have a video, and then you have daily app exercises to help you in any given moment train yourself and learn more about it. And the great news is once you have access to the app, you have access for the whole year. So as I said, it's an 8-week program, and some of the results are significant. So we talk about boosted performance. So individuals are more effectively able to utilize their mental and emotional energy. They have improved ability to develop others, and they're better at teamwork and collaboration. And the other area is well-being. So well-being is improved, happiness levels increase, stress is managed better, and also self-confidence improves as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, strengthened relationships. So individuals are better able at conflict management, they have improved empathy, they're better able to manage their stress. So these are just some of the results that you can experience through this 8-week program.
Sounds great. So how can people find out more about you? If they want to have a chat with you, if they want to find out more, how can they find you?
Oh, thank you, Margaret. Oh, the best thing to do is to go on LinkedIn. So under Hazel Martin, and I know, Margaret, you're going to
I will link, of course, yeah.
To this. That's the best way to get in touch. And yeah, I'd be delighted to have a conversation about it.
Great. So thank you so much, Hazel, for sharing all your wisdom with us today. I hope that you've enjoyed this interview, and I will see you soon on another video. Bye for now.
Oh, thanks so much, Margaret. It was really great to be here today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.